What's up, team? Welcome back to another episode of PubGPS, The Basics. Today we're talking about everybody's favorite, and this is actually everybody's favorite, not like when I said that for life insurance. We're talking about retirement. We're going to be giving you a very basic illustration of how you can use just a few different ingredients, put it into the pot, and come up with a decently accurate number for how and whether or not you're on track for retirement. So let's talk about some of the ingredients. The most important one is CTBY, which is the cost to be you. You want to think about and estimate what's it going to cost me to live the lifestyle that I want and I deserve in retirement. Now, one of the hardest things to do is come up with this number right here. And the main reason is because you have so much time typically between when you want to retire and where you are today. Even if it's only 5 years, that's a long time. So much can change. So what you're doing here is you're just trying to come up with the best estimate. But my first word of caution is to say you can't do this once and then put it on a shelf and expect for it to be accurate. It needs to be fluid, and this number needs to be updated as you get closer and closer to retirement. So for today's example, we're going to say that the cost to be you in retirement is $80,000. And we're going to look at, well, what money do we know is going to be coming in? What income? And to keep it simple, we're going to say that you're going to have $20,000 in Social Security. And then, even though it's rare, we're going to say that you have a $10,000 pension that's coming in. So we've identified that there's a shortfall of $50,000. You need to come up with $50,000. Otherwise, you're sitting in the dark and you're eating cat food, which is probably not how you want to spend your retirement. So let's look at what the next ingredient is. We need to know, well, we need a pot of money big enough that it can pay us $50,000 a year. So let's think about and say, well, how do we determine how big this pot needs to be? The next ingredient is your distribution rate. So for today's example, I'm going to say that each year you can distribute 5% of what you have in your retirement savings to live off of. So our simple math here says, well, if our pot of money is worth $1 million and we take out 5%, that will get us our distribution of $50,000. Let's step it back now and keep going. So let's add our other ingredients in. We now say, well, how much time do we have to grow the money? So for today's example, I'm going to say we have 20 years to grow the money. Our next ingredient, well, how much is the money going to grow? How much can we expect it to grow? Let's say that we're going to get a little below a long-term U.S. stock market return of 10%, and let's say we can earn 8% on our money. The final ingredient then becomes, well, Brian, how much do I have to save every month or every year? What am I on the hook for? How much do I have to save over 20 years while it's earning 8% in order to turn into $1 million? And the answer is a pretty big number. You need to save $21,000 per year, starting from the big goose egg zero. If you can do that consistently, you'll be able to grow a pot of money that's $1 million, and that $1 million will distribute the $50,000 that you need, and you'll be sitting in a hammock somewhere, sipping Mai Tais or just drinking a nice cold beer, whatever you prefer. Remember, this is a basic illustration, but I hope it was helpful. Thanks for joining us.